So up and running and live. And if you're out there watching, give me a quick shout. Let me know that you're hearing me and seeing me and everything is good. Thanks for joining. And we've got quite a few on YouTube tonight. So Curtis, Lee, Teresa, Brenda, Robin, Greg, Dean, Pam. Wow, lots of you out there. Janet. That's sad if I'm your Saturday night date. So, no, it was just a little issue between the connection between my OBS and Facebook tonight. Facebook didn't want to recognize my stream. So I guess I should just be grateful that everything is up and running now. So hello, Carolyn on Facebook. Thank you for joining. Got a couple, 3 viewers out there. Hi, Judy. And all right, super. Okay, so I'm getting ready for April. I don't know about you guys, and I know it's mid-March. So I'm working on what's coming up in April for classes and preparing to do all the recordings for various lessons that I put up on YouTube and reels on Facebook. So I'm excited to be working on those things. And this month in March on my demos, I am doing spring flowers. So last week we did, what did we do? I'm trying to remember now. It was the passion flower vine. And so that was a little different, right? It's a little different flower. I just love them. I think they're really interesting to look at. And I'm working on some ideas of incorporating a lot of what I've been demoing this past couple of months into kind of a singular project. So be looking for that. That's going to be coming pretty soon. So tonight we're going to be looking at anemones. Anemones are similar to a poppy. They're in that same variety of flower. I used to have them growing in my house up north. Can't grow them down here in Florida, but they were a part of bouquets and things like that I really enjoyed seeing. So I just love creating that flower. It's not a hard flower to do. And they come in lots of different colors, whites and purples and pinks and things like that. So it's going to be fun to do that with all of you tonight. And let's see if we got anybody asking questions. Do they get fruit? I'm assuming you're talking about passion flower, and I'm not aware of fruit on a passion flower vine, but it's not passion fruit if that's what you're thinking. Okay. Now we are good. I've been moving everywhere. Okay. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully the stream is coming much better this week because it says it's an excellent connection and I'm not getting any buffering on either one of these. And so I'm happy. I think my adjustments there are working, and gratefully so. So this month on Paintabilities, it's all about water. All right, so I've shared a free lessons 2 so far. One was crashing wave on rocks, and we had the spray and how to get that spray. And then this past week was what was it? Oh, it was a wave close-up. It's all blurring. Sorry. It was a close-up of a wave. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, go check that out. That's another free lesson on Paintabilities on my YouTube channel. And so this coming Monday is going to be underwater. So what's it look like when we're underwater and looking up at the water above and the sunlight coming through, and what does that sunlight look like on the sand below? So I've got a beautiful photograph that I'm working from on that one and sharing with you how to get that underwater look. So that's coming this Monday. All right, so classes in March are, the emails have gone out. So if you haven't signed up for those yet, make sure you get in. I know there was one person who said she really wanted to get in and she hadn't signed up for it yet. So if you're on the fence or thinking about it, I'm just going to quickly show you real quick what we're doing. This is the hummingbird, the Proud Mama hummingbird, coming up next week, this coming Tuesday, the 18th. And so if you've got your St. Patty's Day hangover, you want to come paint with me, that'd be fun. But we're going to be doing her, and she's got her eggs in her nest, and she's surrounded by her pretty flowers and leaves, and we've got metallic going on to give her some shine. And so that's coming up this coming Tuesday. And then the following Tuesday is the guiding light landscape, right? So we're doing a lighthouse landscape on a lighthouse. No irony intended. All right. And so we've got the boat, the lighthouse, the birds, all getting done using stencils and making that so much easier doing that. And I'll show you how to create those rocks and get some really fun looks with that coastline. So that's coming up on the 25th. Each of those classes are $30 a piece. And, and the special I'm running is, as always, get both for $52. Any classes that you want to sign up for, you're going to go to my website, michellemybelledesigns.com. And there's links on both social media here that you're seeing this on. So if you go to the homepage on either my Facebook homepage or the YouTube site, there's a link there if you're not sure about the spelling. But it's michellemybelledesigns.com. You're going to go under Learn to Paint and then Classes, and you're going to click on, if you want to get both, you want to click on the class listing that gives you both. So it's the $52 one. Don't go put both of the individual classes in your cart and think a discount's going to happen, because it doesn't work that way. So you pick one class or the other, or you get both. That's a singular product listing. Okay, so you want to go check those out. And then there's also links to the stencils that are on special. The ones that I'm selling, my two stencils, the boats and the lighthouse stencils, are $2 off. There's also a link directly to the lighthouse surface kit on unfinishedwoodco.com. So you can go and get that for a very reasonable price of just $10 plus shipping. So, and Jeff's throwing in, as always, a bonus chunky piece. And so this month's chunky piece kit bonus is this chunky house, which I thought would be really cute to go with that lighthouse. Okay. So, what else can I share with you? I've got coming up in reels this coming week is going to be another spring flower. That's the daffodil. We did do a daffodil demo I think it was last month. This one's just going to be just slightly different and a little bit faster. So if you want to go check that out, that's coming up on Wednesday. And they drop at 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. Eastern. So let's see. Hello, Laura Lee Stanley, waiting on this storm. Very windy. Oh, you must be in northern Florida. So yeah, there's a storm coming through. We're supposed to be getting rain, which we need very desperately. It's very dry here right now, but the weather's nice. It's just really dry. So, all right, let's see. Shipping on the wood surface was more expensive than the wood itself. Well, yeah, if you're from California, it's going to take some extra cost to get out to there, but usually it's very reasonable. He's usually, and he gets it to you very quickly. But yeah, shipping can be something when you're on the opposite coast, since he's shipping from Atlanta. So, all right, excellent. So I don't have anything else to talk with you guys about tonight. I just am real excited to come on and get with you and say hello and share this anemone demo. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. And then we'll come back when we're done with the demo and do our giveaway for tonight. And that will be short and sweet for me tonight. So, and then next week when I come on, I will have my April classes all ready to share with you and get you excited about that. So be coming back and joining me next Saturday at 8. Don't forget about me. Okay. All right. So let's get on to tonight's demo, which, as I mentioned, is the anemone. All right. So it's not the water anemone. It's the flower anemone. And we're going to be, it's from the poppy family, as I said. And I'm going to go ahead and get overhead and get started, and we'll start putting our colors out. Okay, so let's come down. Got that camera way up there. There we go. All right, so this is what I'm going to be sharing with you. And as you can see, the strokes are not difficult to do, but the blending is a little bit different from what we would normally do in a one-stroke brush load. So I just want to share with you that these have a darker outside color, and then the inside is light. And then it helps that really dark center to pop with that dark purple. So we're going to be working on that. But first we want to get our stems in place, and then I'm going to share with you the different colorways and how we get those strokes down. Okay. So we're not working with a lot of different colors today. I've got some Juneberry I'm going to put out. And some dioxazine purple. So this is our darker purple. And then some wicker white. And then finally, to go with our color, finally to go with the green for the stems, we're going to be using citrus green, and I'm going to be adding in or side loading some of the Juneberry to get the color for the stems, okay? So brush wise, we're going to start with a 10 flat. Okay, so this is a 10, and I'm going to get that damp. And oh, I also need some floating medium because I am on paper. I'm working on some 80-pound Strathmore toned gray sketch paper, which has a very smooth finish, makes it really nice for painting on. And let's shove this over just a little here. Okay, so let's flatten these colors out, and I'm going to go ahead and load with my citrus green. And let's come down closer. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to, let's just grab, because I don't, well, let's do it on this side. So I want to side stroke some of this Juneberry and work it in. And this Juneberry is going to turn a little bit of a brown color with red tones. All right, get some more citrus green and work Juneberry into 1/2 of that brush. Okay. All right, so let me get some floating medium on my brush, work that in, and I think we're ready to go. And then occasionally, as I'm doing these leaves, I'm going to side load some white so we can get some brighter colors, because we want to have darker stems and then bring some of those leaves out with some brightness with some white on that. Okay, so let's come first here, and we're going to do our stems. So we've got one that goes up to the center, and a little bit of a curve like that. And then we're going to have another that comes to the right here. And then we'll have this guy. Let's bring it over a little bit, and we'll give him some space because he's got quite a large face to work with. Okay. All right. So now same colors. And like I said, I'm going to get some white in with that citrus green. Okay. And what I want to do is we're going to have these leaves kind of are lacy. All right, so they kind of come out of like a collar just below the head of the flower. Oops, no, I did that right. Okay. No, I didn't. I went and tossed up my colors there. Sorry, 1 second. And side load white. So still working with the same citrus green and Juneberry, and then side load white. So what we want to do to get these lacy look is I want to come down here, and they're just little short chisel strokes layered. Let's come down and out here, and I'm just overlapping them. I want a little more green on that than I have. All right, so let's bring these. And then get a little more of that white. Okay, so just little lacy short strokes. And so up here we're going to have, oops, let's do these first. I'm going to jump the gun there. And go through the middle so that you don't leave that stem showing, because like I said, they're lacy looking and they're full. Okay, like that. So I'm going to keep working on these. We'll come through here, little short chisel, almost like tapping that brush just on the chisel edge. Okay. All right, so those are the leaves. Let's do some more on the other two. Get a little more color on my brush here. So we'll come up here, create that little collar right there. So this one's going to be in the back. Okay. It's better if you go from the tip. And I got a little too much white on there. Okay, and then here. And then on this one. And here, let's put this back one coming down like that. So we'll do the back first. Get a little bit of white on there. I want some of that dark showing, so it's getting lost. So I'm going to tap it back in there. And as this dries, that white is blending with the green and muting a little bit. So it starts out looking really bright, but by the time it dries, it's softer. Okay. So get some of that Juneberry in there as well. And then pull that back. There we go. All right, so that's our stems and leaves, right? They're just lacy little taps of the brush, right? So now we want to move up to a bigger brush. And I've got a 16 flat here. And let's start with our back center one, which is going to be the Juneberry with white. And so it's a softer, lighter color of the Juneberry with the white blended in the center. So I want to load my whole brush first with the Juneberry. And then I'm going to come right over here and work white into 1/2, or maybe not even that, just about 1/3 of the brush. Okay, so it's still Juneberry, and then that lighter pink color. Okay, so I'm letting, I don't want any white in there. I just want a softer pink. All right, so let's come up here and do our back stroke petals, or back petals stroked. All right, so this is the top of the stem, and so the bottom petal, let's put that in first. So you want pressure on the flat of the brush, and these are smooth strokes, All right, so not a lot of wiggling. And you stand up to the center. So the center is going to be right in here, and that lines up with the top of my stem. Okay, so now let's come up here. Good amount of pressure on the flat of the brush, nice smooth strokes. Okay, and then here we'll overlap those. Oops. And stand that in. Need a little bit of medium, getting a little bit dry. See how that center's got a glow in there though? So, and I'm leaving a hole, just like you would do for a cabbage rose. Leaving some space for the second layer of petals. Okay, so now what we want to do is put in that second layer. Let's come right in here. We're going to overlap our petals, so don't start in the same place that you stopped and started the first layer, right? I'm going over those first stop and starts of the skirt in the back. Okay. And we want to come at a bit of an angle, let it tuck in and out, and stand up to the center. And then we'll finish right here. There we go. All right, so that's got to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush. And we're going to work on this lighter pink one. So that one is actually all white. All right, and then I'm going to start working in some of that Juneberry to get that lighter pink shade. I've got a little bit too much water in my brush, so let's wipe that off and press it on the paper towel, get that out. And load that again. So it's a very soft pink. And then I'm going to come and side stroke some strong white on that outside edge. Okay, so this is our lighter color. We're going to give this a bit of a tilt, and it's kind of tipping back, so you're going to see the front underside of the petals. So our center is going to be right here. All right, so can you see that white outer edge? It's pink, very, very soft, pale pink. Okay. Now, before I put this back petal on, I want to put this side petal here. So it's coming out and around and standing up. And then I can come right here and layer that one over the top. So I'm going to work in just a little bit more pink into that brush load, and then just side stroke that strong white. Okay, so we want to come right through here and bring that in. Now this front, we want to turn the brush so that the light color is up, and then lay it back down. Oops, I lost my color here. Do that again. We want to turn it up and then roll it back down. We'll lay in some white there. Okay. And I think, let's see, we want to come right through here and then stand that up. And we'll put a little bit of a tip right in there. Okay, Now I'm going to touch that up a bit after I put my center in, but I think that's good right there. All right, now these aren't hard strokes, guys. They're nice and smooth with just lots of pressure. So, you know, half sprung pressure. We don't want to go too hard, but now I'm going to go switch to the darker color. So this is dioxazine purple, loading with all dioxazine purple for you purple lovers out there. And then I'm going to go grab some white on the corner and we're going to work that in. So lots of dioxazine, and then you want that lighter shade. Now, I wasn't real happy with, I didn't have that, bring that light shade out far enough on this pink one. You can see some of that glow back in there, so you're seeing the petals differentiated, but I want to push this lighter color more across my brush and keep a darker edge, I think, for this, okay? Because dioxazine is such a strong color. All right, and so I'm going to put a little bit of medium on there, and then we're ready to go for that. So similar to our first one, I'm going to go ahead and put my lower petals in first, just so I know where they're going to hit that stem. And stand it up, overlapping them. Okay, now I can come and do my back petal, upper back petals. Nice and smooth, lots of pressure. Now again, that light color didn't go out far enough, so I'm going to twist my brush slightly to the lighter color and shove that light color over to the other side of the brush. And I don't have to bother reloading. And see how that made that light color move out more towards the edge. There we go, and stand that up. All right, so that finishes the first layer. Then I'm going to get just a little more white, work that in. I want to brighten up that center just a little bit more, keeping that dark outer edge. Right, and then we're going to come and do our layer for our inner petals. Okay. All right, so that'll work. I want to bring this one out a little more and slide that in. There we go. All right, so now we're ready to work on our centers. And they all have the same center, which is a dark purple with a touch of light. But we're first just going to start with a 1/4 inch scruffy and just dioxazine purple. Okay. And so let's come down so you can see these centers a little better. All right, and we're going to just pounce in that center. I want that outside edge to be soft. Okay. Same here. And then on this one, I'm going to come right against that edge. There we go. All right, so we're keeping that flat front edge right there. All right, now, done with that, and I want to come and get my script liner, and we need inky dioxazine purple. And let's bring this out here. So water with the 2 script liner, come get some more. And you let that go all the way up the bristles of the brush, giving it a twist as you come out. You want these green handled brushes, work so much better for loading for curlicues and fine tip work because they have a much nicer point. And then you can just give it a little test right here and see if it's not watery or watery enough. There we go. That's the look I'm going for, right? This was a little too thin, added a little heavier paint, and I get a nice stroke for my stamens. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and pull out just the start of a skirt of stamens coming out. Okay. Turn your flower so that you can get a nice alignment to the center the way you want it to be instead of trying to force your arm. Okay. Now that I have that in, I'm going to add some white to that brush and still twist to come out to a fine tip. All right, and now we're going to pull out, oops, get some more white. There we go. You want it really thin, lacy. So it takes a little patience to get that brush load corrected. And these short little strokes coming out, you go in different directions so that it makes the center look aimed, in this case, flat, right? Now with this next one, we get a little bit of water in there, and let's come get the white. Okay. And we're going to come out. So on this purple background, you don't want that dioxazine in there. You want just the white. Creating that lacy center. Okay. All right, and then on this one, we want to come back to more of the purple. So almost like a lavender blend on the brush against that white background. Just with the tip of the brush. All right, and then definitely want some white now coming up from below into that darker purple center. So that makes it look more tipped, like it's tipped back away from you. All right, now the last thing we want to do on these is all the little pollen dots around the outside edge. And so you can do this with, I want to show you both. So you can do it with the Kiss tool, All right, and you can dip into the light color. Actually, it should be purple, not white. Let's start with that. So dip into the dioxazine, and you can come here and just dot around that edge. And you occasionally want to pick up some white so that it shows with that purple, right? But I like, in this case, not always, but in this case, I prefer to do the liner with both colors. So I'm going to get the purple, and then I'm going to streak through the white. And then you're going to take your pinky and put it down so it hits the paper, or hits the surface, and then slowly lower that tip until it just taps and creates that both colors coming off of there. And I just think it looks a little softer and a little less perfect in this case. All right, so purple, streak through white, and tap. And as long as you're letting your pinky hit at the same level as the tip of your brush, it won't go any further and create folds or bumps or anything, okay? So purple, and streak through white, and we'll do the same thing here. You have to be careful with the wet paint though. You tap your fingernail into it. All right, so see how I'm keeping that outer edge of that pollen and letting all those little stamen stems show, right? So you've got the edge of the center and then the stamen stems and then the pollen dots. All right, now here I'm going to go with mostly dioxazine on the back side because it's so white. But then we want to streak through that white for these ones that are sticking up in the front. And then you can tap a few of those back here too. Okay. Now to finish this, we need to liven up that center a little bit. So I'm going to grab a 6 flat. All right. Because it's dark and there's no character to it, right? So grab a 6 flat and I'm going to load that with dioxazine, and then I'm going to come and side stroke some of this white. All right, so we've got a little lighter blend on here. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to come right in here, kind of tip into that white edge. And we'll do a little half circle there. A little half circle there. Need a little bit more dark on the one edge so that it blends into that center. There we go. And then here, we'll do just a little streak through there like that. Okay, now, once you've got this all done, you can come make any adjustments that you like. Like I'm looking at these stems, they're looking a little weak. So let me come back maybe to my 6 flat with some citrus green and then side stroke some of that Juneberry. And we can come right in here. And pull some of that. Okay. You can even get a little bit of white. Right, and just kind of streak a little bit of that light color. Make these look a little more rounded if they've got some highlights on them. There. Okay. So it's really all about the flower, but the leaves I thought were really important to understand how to make those. So if you put them in a bouquet or something, have some of those pretty lacy leaves sticking out, it'll look very nice, combining them together. And so there you have, right, the anemones. And I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration, and I hope you'll give them a try in your next painting. Let's come back up here real quick. And there we go. Hi. All right. So I saw some comments out there. What is that tool called for dotting? So that, as I said, was a kiss tool. We call this a kiss dotter, a kiss tool. It's because the shape looks like a Hershey's Kiss, but it is actually called a wipe away tool as a product name, because it's supposed to be used to wipe things out rather than apply the paint. But we use it for that dotting purpose. So that's available on onestroke.com if you're interested in getting that. It's a really nice tool to have in your kit for sure. So let's see, I missed the leaves. You'll have to watch again. Yep. And yeah, you guys got some weather going through Alabama and Georgia and the not deep south, but south north of us, but south for most everybody. Hope you guys stay safe. We'll be praying for you for sure. And I don't know what just happened. My screen went, oh, there it is. Sorry. All right. All of a sudden I disappeared. So I wanted to make sure I was okay. So, all right, let's see if we've got anybody other questions. I have, what? I have shared. Oh, we've got a little annoying stalker out there on Facebook. So, all right. Anyway, so we're doing our giveaway tonight. I'm giving away a free downloadable video lesson valued at $39 or less. So our winners, I'm going to do a drawing on YouTube. I'm going to do a drawing on Facebook. And our winners, you'll go and check out what I have available on michellemybelledesigns.com under Learn to Paint, and then downloadable videos. Anything $39 or less, and then you just private message me back with the video that you would like, and I will get you taken care of with that. Okay, so we had 2 lucky winners last week. We're going to have 2 lucky winners this week, and we'll do the drawing first on YouTube. Let's do that this time. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I have Robin Robertson. You've been very vocal tonight, Robin. That's why. It helps to make lots of comments, guys, and then you get entered into the drawing. So, Robin, you want to go check out my website and then let me know what you would like from a video lesson perspective for your big win tonight. Congratulations. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support as always. Thank you guys so much for all the hearts. That's so nice. I'm glad you liked it. And so last week, I accidentally stopped the stream on YouTube early. So I'm going to make sure I leave this on. It doesn't chop me off like it did last time. So stay with me and make sure you watch to the end. All right. And then we'll do our drawing here on Facebook real quick. 2, 3, and Ann Page. Congratulations. And Miss Ann, I saw you were in Claremont and in Central Florida this past week. Hope you enjoyed your trip. I don't know if you're back home now or not, but if you did, I hope you had a nice trip. It was wonderful to see you visit the Art Center in Groveland and see Donna and the group. Sorry I wasn't there to see you this time, but hopefully I'll catch you next time. Okay. So there we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed tonight's demo, and make sure you come back and join me next Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern. I will be sharing with you all new project classes for April. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all next week. Have a blessed rest of your weekend. Love you guys. Bye-bye.